Great to have you with us. Now, as the December 27 referendum approaches, an online poll on Joy News' Facebook timeline has revealed significant number of voters reject the proposed OT region. Out of a total of 7,000 voters that took part in the online poll, 57%, that is 3,990 persons, voted no, whilst the remaining voted yes. We're going to take you through some of the details. Now, the question posed was, should the OT region be carved out of the Volta region? And that's what you see on your screen there. Now, we see 43% voting yes, whilst 57% vote no. This was posted on Tuesday on Joy News' Facebook page, and it ended today. Now, out of a total of 7,000 voters that took part in the online poll, 57% of the voters, that is 3,990, voted no, whilst 43% of voters, making 3,010, said yes to the creation of the region. Now, although online polls have come under severe criticisms for being inaccurate and unscientific, particularly with the distribution of the respondents, some have proven to be reliable and accurate. Now, still on the referendum, residents in Ahafo, Bono East, Savannah, Northeast, Oti, and Western North regions will be voting to approve or disapprove the creation of these areas. Electoral Commissioner Jean Mensah has been updating the media on its preparedness.
Distinguished members of the media, it is important to emphasize that we are at the final stages of our preparations towards the conduct of the referendum on the creation of new regions. On Thursday, the 27th of December 2018, eligible voters will go to the polls to decide whether the proposed regions, namely Ahafo, Bono East, Savannah, Northeast, Oti, Western North, should be created as new regions or not. You will recall that the President submitted the findings and recommendations of the regions, and finally, Savannah and Northeast to be carved out of the Northern region. Upon receipt of the government white paper on recommendations of the Justice Brobe Commission, the Electoral Commission commenced preparations towards the implementation. I'll now brief you on pre-referendum activities of the Commission. The Commission has successfully undertaken the following pre-referendum activities in preparation towards the voting day. These include the establishment of a legal framework for the referendum, namely the CI 109, the revision of the voters' register, the exhibition of the voters' register, applications for votes transfer and proxy, recruitment and training of key staff, including temporary staff for the referendum day, amongst others. Establishment of the legal framework. A new constitutional instrument, namely CI 109, referendum, creation of regions regulations 2018, has been announced.
Apologies for the slight hiccup there. Now, armed men have shot and killed a gold dealer at Derisaso in the Amasia South District, where 7 Kumasi-based Zongo youth were gunned down by police earlier this year. It's the second of such incidents in 2 weeks after 3 people were shot at Manso Apuno, leaving them in critical conditions. Ohiming Terrier has more in the following report.
The identity of the disease victim and other details are unavailable, but reports suggest the attack occurred on Tuesday. Authorities in the district are worried about activities of robbery gangs in the area with suspected local collaboration. District Chief Executive William Asante Bediako, who also heads the security committee, believes some residents have teamed up with outsiders to perpetrate such crime. He says intelligence points to several planned robbery attacks to be undertaken by the groups during the Christmas festivities. Though he will not mention names, he revealed some communities in the district have become safe haven for armed gangs.
I can tell you that we have several robbery gangs that operate in this area. That one I can tell you.
Did that receive information?
I'm telling you that we have information on robbery gangs that operate in my area. I can mention some of the communities where they operate from. I can mention some of their syndicates in Kumasi. No.
Please mention the communities they operate
in Kumasi, where some of these gangs operate from. I can tell you where some of the gangs they take their arms and whatever from to come and operate here and go back. But I want to say that nobody is happy. Nobody was happy for what happened. And we are praying it doesn't happen again. But if I'm to tell you the kind of threats we are going through now, because robbers still want to strike.
All this comes on the back of killing of what became known as the Zongo 7 in the area that has seen influx of people due to mining activities. Mr. Bediako is worried about the reluctance of residents to give information on criminals in the area to police or DISEC. He commends police for their continued support in promoting security in the area despite recent setbacks.
You know, my own life has been in my hands for so many months now. I'm a target of attacks here and there. At the point I even have to leave this country for a while. And so it depends on where anybody is sitting. You can say whatever you want to say, but I want to say that threats in this area is real. And I want to commend the Ghana Police Service. They have still given us the SWAT team to be here, and they are monitoring our roads, especially at dawns and in the evenings, because our intelligence is telling us that armed robbers want to still strike, especially getting to this Christmas Eve. So the SWAT team here, they don't sleep in the evenings and in the nights. In the evenings, in the nights, and at dawn, because the armed robbers are unrelenting.
From Kumasi, for Joy News, Ohimenteria reports.
Let's stay in the Ashanti region, and teachers in Asante Achim North District commute to school squeezed in buckets of tricycles because they have no accommodation in communities they work. Authorities fear of looming disaster as the teachers are exposed to safety risk by the day in their bid to serve in deprived areas. District Director of Education Ernest Kojafari wants government to construct temporary structures to house the teachers and reduce the danger. He spoke to Love News at the school performance appraisal meeting at Agogo. Erastus Asaridonko reports.
This year's district school performance appraisal meeting brought together all stakeholders to deliberate on performance at Agogo. It was also to chart a new course to achieving higher educational standards. Awards were also given to deserving teachers who braved the odds each day to teach in the remote parts of the district. District Director of Education Ernest Kojaferi hinted teachers are exposed to extreme danger. He tells Love News accommodation is non-existent in many of the villages, and bad roads prevent teachers from getting normal transportation to school. Many of them commute daily to school parked in tricycles at the risk of their lives.
Teachers are compelled to commute from Agogo to those communities like Efrisre, communities like Bebuso, Brantua Kro, and the rest. There are no teachers' accommodation, and most vehicles don't plow those routes. So teachers have no other choice but to arrange for the services of Aboboya to convey them to the school in the morning, and then after closing, still wait for them to convey them back to Agogo. And so you can imagine the risk involved. About 4-5 teachers packed up in Agogo to school in the morning and then back to Agogo in the afternoon. This is another serious cause for concern, because we cannot wait until disaster strikes before we begin to ask why it happened the way it has happened. So, all because teachers have nowhere to lay their heads in the deprived communities of the districts.
He wants government to provide temporary accommodation in these areas for teachers.
The major challenge here has been staff accommodation. This is one district where we have lots of deprived communities, and you go to most of the communities, teachers have nowhere to lay their heads. Some are compelled to sleep in classroom. The government has done a lot, providing a number of teachers accommodation, but at the same time, a lot more remains to be done, so that teachers will really accept postings to deprived communities and be able to give up their best.
Despite the challenges, the district improved in performance at the Basic Education Certificate Examination for last year, rising from 84.5% to 92% this year. Reporting for Joy News, Erastus Asaredonko, Kumasi.
Now, away from that, cocoa farmers registered with cocoa certification organization Fairtrade will earn 11% more on a bag of cocoa than the producer price, which was officially announced by government in October this year. The current price of a bag of cocoa, as announced by government, is pegged at 475 cedis. But from October 2019, Fairtrade has declared a bag of cocoa will sell at 535 cedis. President of Fairtrade Ghana Network, Johannes Kumedro, promised cocoa farmers bonuses if they sell directly to Fairtrade. Joy News' Henry Kwesi Bedu has more.
Cocoa farmers across Ghana protested vehemently as Cocoa Board announced producer price of cocoa at 7,600 Ghana cedis per metric ton and 475 Ghana cedis per bag in October this year. They described the pricing as poor. But Cocoa Board explained the 475 price tag is as a result of drastic fall of the commodity on the world market. However, the Fairtrade Ghana Network announced a higher package on a bag of cocoa today.
We are increasing the Fairtrade minimum price for our Fairtrade certified producers from $2,000 per ton to $2,400. That's an increase of 20%. And then we are also increasing the premium. The premium is an additional income that is given to the farmer or to the farmers for development issues that they face within their community, and also they could spend it as extra income for themselves. That is cash bonuses. So it is very important that we make this announcement and to encourage not only the government to commit to fair trade, especially those that the government deals with, that is the buyers they deal with. If they can buy our produce on fair trade terms, I think it will help a lot of the farmers to improve upon their lives and come out of the poverty levels that they are carried. Some of them find themselves under.
Some members entreated other cocoa farmers to sell under fair trade terms.
I sell my cocoa to Fair Trade International because they are giving us bonuses. That's why I sell my cocoa to them. After I have received my 475 as the minimum price for cocoa, they will add extra money, which is 25 cedi per bag. I will entreat every farmer to come and then sell their cocoa to Fair Trade because they will get extra money.
Meanwhile, President of the Sunafo North Cocoa Farmers Corporation, Patrick Owusu-Goso, is calling on government to help curb the menace of deforestation, which is affecting cocoa farmers.
Because today, farming is very difficult. The farming business is no longer motivating. You cultivate about 1,000 seedlings today, and next year maybe 300 will be there. All of them will die off as a result of harmattan and climate change issues. Because as we speak, the harmattan in our area is so much, and all because of the deforestation that we are experiencing in the highest order in our time in recent days. So we are saying that if government really care for farmers, if government really wants to promote agriculture in Esunafo and other part of the country, they need to tackle deforestation as a major issue in the cocoa sector.
The Fair Trade certified cocoa producers called on the government through Cocoa Board and other stakeholders in the cocoa sector to commit to buying under fair trade terms to enable cocoa farmers earn a decent income to help reduce poverty in the agricultural sector. For Joy News, Henry Bedu's report.
Away from that matter, the Circuit Court in Kumasi in the Ashanti region has ordered that properties of gold trading firm Menzgold Company Limited are auctioned. The court ruled that properties of the firm in Amakum, all personal properties in the office of Menzgold Limited in Amakum, and all personal properties in Menzgold office at Patase, all in Kumasi, be sold at a public auction. Now, Raymond Akwa is here with the latest developments. Raymond, we understand some customers of Menzgold have petitioned government to take action against the company.
Yes, they directly put the petition before the Honorable Gloria Kufu, who is Minister for Justice and Attorney General, and they are specifically making the demands that first and foremost, and this is not just the individual, in this case, the man, Roger Nauf, a Belgian and Ghanaian, who believes that his 1.4 million cedis that was invested in Menzgold has not yielded any returns for him. Today, as he speaks, as they put out the statement, their main claim is that, one, there's a procedure they felt this will go through. Ordinarily, when they complain, like they know that there's several complaints before the CID, they would have frozen the accounts of the company. As we speak now, nothing of such sort had happened to them. They also proceed to say that they have information that the man behind all of this conglomerate, Nana Appiah Mensah, has flown his private jet and his family to South Africa and has been moving from country to country. Indeed, they are insisting that the Menzgold offices here, he came around some time ago to come and liquidate the company of all the essential assets there, which is why it is worrying that there's no government action or the security institutions have not acted so far. The lady who represents the lawyers in this case has been out saying that they want not only Interpol, they should work with the FIC, the IOCO, and all the relevant state institutions to be able to apprehend and bring the money, to refund the monies they're supposed to give to these other people. They talk about the relationship between Brew Marketing and also Menzgold, and the fact that the claim has been that the money was given to Brew Marketing. It was not given to Menzgold.
Menzgold, yeah.
She insists that the two are related, they are from the same source, they are worked together, and at no point in time do you get that attention being given you when you're going to engage in all of these institutions. They move on to say that they are very much surprised that the bank accounts have not been frozen. Government has not taken hold of it, to the extent that even the man liquidates and take every cash out of it, government will still let that be. And they are worried about how this is prevailing in the country today. They proceed to say that there's been a depletion of some sort of the accounts you are dealing with in this case.
Meaning some accounts, some monies have been removed from the accounts?
Yes, the accounts, the relevant accounts of both Menzgold and also Brew Marketing have virtually been cleared of all the funds in there. Which means that even if the man never returns to this country and we are seeking to get money to pay the people, it will be very difficult to do so unless we sell assets. That's part of the claims that are being made by those involved here. In fact, they say this is sophisticated money laundering operation that's already happening. So not only have the monies been taken out of the accounts and other liquidations happened, they've also been trying to put the money through to other countries and other systems, which will make it difficult for us to trace the amount of money in this case. And they want the security agencies to be up and doing and make all of this known to them. Now, their request is pretty simple. They want the Attorney General's Department working with everybody, including the President's office, to deal with this matter and treat it as urgent, because it involves huge amount of money from ordinary people. People work very, very hard for the amount of money being involved in this case. They believe there's something criminal about the conduct of the man and the institution Menzgold and Brew Marketing. They want that quickly investigated so they can get to the bottom of it too. Indeed, their bigger call is to Interpol. Wherever he is, please chase him, break him down, let him face the laws of this country.
Raymond Akwa just took us through the details of that statement or that petition that Roger North, who is the Ghanaian Belgian, through his lawyer Amanda Clinton, filed at the Attorney General's office. Let's look at the states of Menzgold now. Coming to Menzgold, Accra, where with just a few days to Christmas, clients of the gold dealership firm are angry and desperate to collect their investment funds. Scores of customers besieged the Jolu office to protest another broken promise made to them in October this year. The company had pledged to pay 5% of locked-up investments of clients who register for their new online trading platform. But that promise was broken. These customers have vowed to stage a series of protests until they get their monies back. Nancy Emefa Jodosi has more.
Desperate, Menzgold customers have once again besieged the company's Jolu office in Accra. The place has become a scene where angry clients go to vehemently negotiate to collect their investment funds and also vent their frustrations. The once loyal customers of Menzgold pointed to another broken promise from management made in October 2018. That promise was to pay 5% of locked-up investments of clients who registered for their new online trading platform. But again, this did not happen.
The guy tricked some of us. I paid the money, and up to now, that 5%, I haven't got that 5%. And the migration time also has ended. Look at me. I have children. My wife, I have a lot of people that are looking up to me. And now, look at me. The 5% too is here. Instead of them to come and pay me, they are not paying.
But for these police officers stationed at the premises, the situation could have gotten out of hand, as angry customers had planned to block the roads and burn tires. These gentlemen sustained some injuries in a scuffle with the police.
I was here this morning and the police has tortured me. Now I can't even drive my own car. Look at me. Look at me. Let me show everything to you people. You understand? All these marks. I can't move even my own car. How can I live in my own country and become a slave?
Some also share their untold stories of how difficult life has been for them.
Because we want people to die because of this thing. My mother, she's dying. If she's standing right in front of you, she'll just urinate on herself because of this money. Because of this money.
Is it her money that is there?
Yes, it's my mother's money and my money.
Our families are dying. As I stand here, I have 3 kids. I can't pay school fees. They are in private schools. I can't pay their school fees. They haven't write their exam this term. And we need them to come to our aid. Other than that, we'll do whatever we'll do by legal or foul me.
Yes, Reno. Yadinyami Reno. Say, Omumba Samu Wemomaye. Mimi Mamia did 94 years. And I lost my sister. And for these few months, I've gone through a lot. Yes, Reno.
Meanwhile, management of Menzgold is yet to respond to any of these claims. These customers have vowed to push and protest until something positive happens.
Now, Raymond is still here. Raymond, speaking of protesting customers who are petitioning government, the statement says a bit more about that.
Now, they say that they've been engaged by some members of a group known as the aggrieved customers of Menzgold. They have told them of their plan to ensure that should they not be paid their investment by Menzgold and Brew Marketing and associated matrixed companies, they plan to hold the government accountable in the next election in a similar manner to the DKM microfinance debacle, where the NPP fulfilled its 2016 election promise by settling the deposits of the collapsed microfinance firm, DKM. They have, however, told them to have full confidence in your office, in this case, Attorney General's office, and by extension, the office of the President, and proceeds to say that our office can only do so much to help these aggrieved customers and rely on your office and government to secure these monies. We will be submitting our clients list so that they can be paid when investor monies are secured from the government.
So in simple terms, pay us the money or 2020 is coming.
Yes.
Wow. Raymond Dakwa there with some details of the Menzgold customers' concerns. Now, he was maimed after a vehicle crashed him against the wall as he waited to be picked up from a school in Takrady. He was just 6. He lost his leg in that tragic incident. As sad as that was, there appears to be some hope. Barely a week after Joy News aired the Hotline documentary A Boy's Wish, there has been massive support for him, and as he turned 9 on Thursday, there was a big surprise for him. Anasa Azuri Awuni will tell you more in the following report.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
If there are days Jeremiah Arthur will never forget in his life, then the 9th anniversary of his birth will certainly be one of them. On that day, he became a car owner. On Tuesday, some individuals who were moved by Joy News documentary on his plight surprised him with a birthday party in his class. Today, Hefzi's Gifts and Berry Bear's Kiss Party services have traveled from Accra to organize another birthday party for him. But they came with a bigger surprise. They presented a taxi to help transport Jerry to school and perhaps serve as an income earner to help in his upkeep. Jerry goes to school, church, and everywhere else in a taxi because the public commuter vehicles are not disability friendly. This has placed additional financial burden on the family.
From my friend, we wanted to support you with a donation of a taxi and a small birthday party for Jeremiah and his siblings and his friends to encourage him to keep studying hard and to know that Jeremiah, God loves you and he will always take care of you, okay? So this is from us to you.
On behalf of the mother and the father of Jeremiah and the entire family, I would want to express our profound gratitude for such a wonderful gesture.
It's been 2.5 years since Jerry lost his leg in a gruesome accident and had the remaining one fractured. The situation has left the family with unbearable financial difficulties, but the Joy News documentary on his plight is turning the situation around, at least for now. Freeman Mensah is Jerry's uncle. He said some individuals have reached out and promised to sponsor Jerry's rehabilitation.
Before your story, we had a bit of support, but they were very few and it was difficult. But thanks to your story, the support has been massive ever since your story broke. It's been so massive. Almost every day you get someone calling that, oh, I've read Manasseh's story. I've looked at the video on YouTube and I'm willing to give this and that. We have had a couple of people who have called and said that they are ready to come on board with some NGOs or other organizations and personally make sure that they will contribute to get the prosthetic leg for Jerry. Thanks to Joy News for traveling all this way to come and cover Jerry's issue and making sure that all over Ghana, everyone hears it, and we are so grateful. We are so grateful.
Jerry's journey to achieving his goal in life is still long and uncertain, but the benevolence of corporate entities and individuals has provided a ray of hope to the family.
I want to say thank you and God bless you. You're welcome. You're most welcome, Jerry.
For Joy News, Manasseh Azore Arena reporting.
Great to hear that news there coming in from the Western region. You're still watching Joy News today. Still coming up in the bulletin, ADB Bank is expected to experience some significant movement in trading on the Ghana Stock Exchange from 2019 after a slow performance this year. Darrell Kwao has more when he brings his business.